Hey, everybody, and we're live. Todd Schroth here with my friend, Coach Daniel Betancourt of Club Wealth Coaching. I wanted to just come to you guys today and talk about CRMs. And, everyone's got a customer relationship manager.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get Daniel's insight on some of the topics, because we see the chat all the time. What's the best CRM? Where do I find one? What do I use? So on and so forth. So question number one, what's the best CRM, Daniel?
The best CRM is, you should know this, one that you use. The one that you use is the best CRM. Kind of like the best exercise plan or the best diet. The one that you stick to is the best one.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're all a lot of the popular ones have so many services that they are all great. So it's really, you just have to kind of see which one is most user-friendly to you, and see which one is most comfortable and also most compatible with your lead sources and the systems that you use, because that's with technology, sometimes you have compatibility issues.
Well, and we've been using Follow Up Boss for a very long time, for about 7 years now. And the growth of that company and working with Dan Corkle all the way through has been amazing, the things that are slowly changing with it. And there's a program called Zapier. And if it doesn't work, I'll just create a Zap for it, and it'll create a workaround.
Right.
Which I don't understand Zapier, but I know that Ylopo is doing a training on that. But they are great with trying to get things coordinated. So every backend system will flow into that.
Right. So Ylopo is also Follow Up Boss is also the CRM that I use, and they've been great. I've been using them. Seems like about 5 years. 5 years, I believe, I've been using Follow Up Boss, and they intertwine well with Ylopo. And Ylopo, we both use also as a lead generation company, marketing company, and website creator. So Follow Up Boss, we're both partial to Follow Up Boss, I think.
We've been buried in it, and it is hard to switch when you're using those CRMs. So here's a question for you. CRMs that have lead generation capabilities, would you use those, or would you try to find one that's like a true CRM like Follow Up Boss?
There are benefits to, it could depend on your budget. It could depend on, so for example, Follow Up Boss is a great CRM, but it doesn't include a website. So if you're an agent out there that has some great, awesome website that you love, you don't really need a CRM that offers you a website. So it really depends on what your needs are. Also depends on what your budget is. Sierra is a great one. I've heard lots of great feedback on Sierra. It's a great CRM with its own website, and you can also plug in marketing into that one. Brevity is another one that I've heard great things about. And so
Brevity is really good with transaction management, I've heard, because we used Brevity for a short time. It didn't fit what we needed, but it was like very transaction management heavy.
It's a great CRM. I know coaches in Club Wealth that use it on a very high level, but it's not one that I hear of very often, but I know it has all the tools that one would want and need.
We were looking at Chime at one point when we were with Curator. When we were leaving Curator to go to Ylopo, Chime was one that had come up, and it's got its own database management system in there, and they were very heavily pay-per-click, so we ended up not going there because we were still doing a lot of Facebook marketing, how we ended up over at Ylopo, but now we're obviously having pay-per-click. So they're another one. It's like, do we have Chime with Follow Up Boss, or do we have Boomtown with Follow Up Boss? Because it's hard to leave something you've been using for so long. I had a Top Producer for 15 years, and I didn't want to get rid of it because I had all my stuff in there, and it was hard to like switch around. So we ended up running two CRMs at the time when we were at Remax with that.
Top Producer is a really popular one. That's probably the original real estate CRM. I've been hearing about Top Producer since I got started in real estate almost 20 years ago. I've never subscribed to Top Producer, but I know they're still relevant. People still use them.
Yep. They've been around. They were around in the 90s and still around today. They've had to make some adaptations to stay current. But Wise Agent was another one we tried. Used them for about 6 months, and again, I've got friends who still use them. They didn't fit what we were doing, but they were another good one, and very inexpensive, because you get into Wise Agent, some of these others, they're not charging you per user, or they've got very low monthly costs. Or Follow Up Boss, there's 30 people using our account now, so we're hitting the close to 30, almost $500 a month because of the amount of users we have. And I know we could be spending a lot more, but the more you have on it, the more you're gonna end up spending. Obviously,
Right.
it depends on how big your team is.
KV Core, we can't forget mentioning KV Core.
Yeah.
KV Core has a great reputation themselves, and that is who EXP decided to partner with. So many brokerage, I talk to agents from all different brokerages on a very regular basis, and it seems like none of them like their broker provided CRM.
Right.
And that's not really the case with EXP agents and KV Core, unless you just haven't taken the time to learn it. When I was with Remax, no one really used the Remax CRM, and then
Booge.
they bought Booge, and they made it a huge deal. And I still don't know anyone that was really using it. So I don't know if that panned out to be a lucrative purchase or not, or beneficial purchase. But KV Core has been a great CRM. I've been poking around with it a little bit. I can't say that I've gotten too much into it because I have Follow Up Boss, but I've experimented with it a little bit, and their automated, listing boosting tools that they have, and it's generated a ton of leads in the short amount of time that in the very little bits that I've experimented with it.
Well, it's a cool program because it does integrate with the MLS. It is your all-in-one system, and you basically it's got the website with it. It's got the lead generation with it. Use your website link and pop it on Facebook. All the stuff. Everyone that clicks on it will fall right back in your database. It's got automation in there already, but it's not one where you have to buy the products if you don't want it in the back end, which is cool. If I don't want to use the listing booster, I don't have to pay for it. It's
right.
So it's not all that add-on stuff. So what's cool with KV Core, they have the individual property websites, they have the database, they have some transaction management in there. It's a little bit of everything. And if you want more in depth, you can go buy that product additional to it.
Right. Yeah.
A la carte type service.
Right. And it's for EXP agents, it's included in your technology fee, So it's great for the money for sure.
Yeah. A lot of brokers I've noticed have started bringing that into their company as an add-on. KV Core, it was like a unique thing that we had. And then talking to some more of the brokers, they're actually bringing it in there. So I think the model, the way, because I think it used to be called Cooner Vision and then became KV Core. And so they've gone from let's charge people $500,000 a month for a database to let's provide a a la carte type service, give it to the companies for a small monthly charge per agent, and then have the upgrades going on in the background. Right. And so they can get a lot more users and subscribers on it. And it's like everything. If you don't know how to play with technology, it's going to be hard to use because everything has got to be customizable somewhat to yourself. And KV Core is one of those that it's like you've got to have some ideas to play with it. But there is so much training online on how to customize the sites and use the system. If you just go on there on YouTube and go KV Core for Dum Dums or some of the people that are on there to follow, they'll literally A to Z how to work with the database system.
You have to dedicate time to getting your CRM right. It's going to take a lot of time, especially if you're coming from no CRM and you're starting a CRM. It's going to take a lot of time to set it up, to import all of your contacts, to categorize them. But once you have a system down for categorizing your contacts in there, it's going to make life so much easier. You're able to communicate with mass segments of your sphere and your customer pool and your leads, on demand. So you can send out, with certain services, automated text messages, mass emails, mass text messages. You can, some of them have optional phone calling where you can make phone calls from the CRM. Some of them connect to dialers. So it incorporates that. Follow Up Boss has a pro package where you can incorporate those tools. So
you can upgrade to the dialer and stuff in it.
It's a game changer. How many times, especially if you're a single agent and you don't have a team, you're trying to manage everything yourself, a CRM that will auto respond to your leads when they come in. If you're out showing homes for 4 hours and you get a lead and you just can't respond to them because you're face to face with customers, that's a lead that you can lose. But if you have systems in place on a CRM, as soon as a lead hits your email, the CRM can send them an automated video that you've created saying, hi, I just received your inquiry. Thank you so much for connecting with me. I'm out showing homes right now. I'll be in touch with you as soon as I'm done here. And at least that lead will get a little bit of experience from you directly in video, and they've been touched and reached out to, rather than waiting several hours till you're done meeting with your customers.
Well, the biggest thing is, you want the speed to lead, respond within 5 minutes. And a lot of companies that we're working with right now have artificial intelligence or AI involved in it. And I'll have an appointment set in my calendar because of like with Ylopo, with Raya, is just doing the whole communication. And like, it sounds great. We'll see you Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And I look, I'm like, oh, cool. I got an appointment at 5. Buyer contract written, go to closing. That closing paid for my Ylopo for the year because of that one AI's conversion strategies.
Right. Yes, that's it's huge, and it's just, you're constantly, when you're a single agent and you're trying to grow and expand your business and maybe form a team, you're looking for any kind of tool and resource that you can to capture more of the business. For a lot of us, it just got to a point where, as a single agent, we were doing so much business, we were seeing so much business fall through the cracks that we were trying to learn what band-aids we can use to plug those holes. So for me, when I first got it, that feature that it can auto respond to leads, while I was busy, that was really the clincher for me. And since then, 5 years later, I keep learning more and more that it can do. And I love Follow Up Boss, and I'm learning to love KV Core as well.
Well, KV Core I've been diving into the last 2 years, and I'm only know a little bit on it, but it's, again, I'm one of those just enough to be dangerous, smart with it. One thing we learned on Ylopo today was with a new listing we got, we were able to put the address into the back end of Ylopo, and it gave us a list of everybody in our database who had clicked on or seen something similar to the property that we listed, square footage, price range, and everything. So it gave us about 150 contacts that we sent to our team. Go call these people. These are people that are assigned to you. It's a new listing. They're interested in something similar to this.
Right.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool that we saw on there that Rachel pulled up today. So now every new listing we're going to we're going to send it to the team to sit there and make calls on to try and, basically sell it the day it gets listed.
Right. So something that Ylopo and Follow Up Boss will do together is, as your leads are coming in, it'll automatically tag those leads with the zip code of the areas that they've been searching in. So if you do get a new listing in that zip code, you could very easily send a mass email to all of the leads in your CRM that have a tag that matches the same zip code as your new listing. And it's not like a CC where they all see each other's email, or even a BCC. You can address each person by name, and it'll be very personalized. And there's so many things you can do with it. It's definitely worth the money. So if you're considering getting a CRM, or you're still just using an Excel spreadsheet or some kind of notepad system that you've got, that's great, but it's worth the money to invest in a great CRM.
You'll be funny because I'm looking at some of these old timers that I'm talking to, and old timers being 20 years or 25, 30 years in the business or longer than that, and they're still using note cards or spreadsheets, and it works for them. But you got to get the data in there. When I bought my old business partner's business from them, they came to me with 10 white boxes and said, "Here's our database." Like, I'm gonna have to charge you guys to figure this shit out.
This is our CRM. Here's our CRM.
It was literally 10 of those boxes of 20 years of closings.
Right. Well, that works. And those folks that you purchased the business from, they were doing a ton of business. But most of the time, when you're just using pen and paper, you're limiting your growth. You're putting a ceiling on what you can do. So
yeah. Well, we took those folders and automated them and doubled the business the next year, just based on our automated follow-up strategies we had with people, because we literally had to take the vanilla folder, pull the names off and emails off of it, and put it in. And then it's like, now we can sit there and track everybody. But They would go to the appointment with the folder from the house they sold you 15 years ago and had the old listing folder. So,
that must have been fun, typing, manually inputting all of that information.
That's why we had an assistant for that.
That's right. Yeah.
To extract the information as fast as possible.
A topic for another episode.
Yeah. Assistants, when to hire one. And I think that's going to be a perfect one going into next week. So we've got some good stuff coming up in March for you guys. It's March Madness. We're going to figure out some madness things, some things we can stop the madness for you in this real estate industry.
Absolutely. It's, the market's still hot, and I expect it to just continue to get warmer. Like, we're going into spring. Spring normally heats up. Summer, it peaks. So it's hot right now, and looking forward to seeing what the next few months bring.
Well, it's funny because we get things slow down for us a little, or have slowed down a little bit for me the last few weeks, and it's getting like you kind of get worried what's going on. And all of a sudden, I get 4 new opportunities this weekend, and there are 2 sellers who are going to be buying something and doing an upgrade. One this morning, and I'm taking the garbage out. Neighbor's like, "Hey, we're selling. I want to sit and talk to you tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Perfect opportunity." I'm just walking down the sidewalk, taking my garbage down the street, and the guy's walking his dog, and listing appointment converted right there.
Another reason why you should be the one to drag the garbage can out to the street.
You'll find a listing appointment anywhere.
Lead opportunities everywhere.
Exactly. Oh, God. Oh, awesome. Everybody, thanks for tuning in today, and we will be back next Monday, and I'll see you guys on Friday for our show with one of our sponsors, one of our upcoming guys. Anyways, have a great one. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Take care.
All right, Daniel. Thank you.